Hare Krishna, welcome to today's Srimad Bhagavatam class. Before we start our class, let's do a simple Mangala Charana. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaim Narotamam Deving Saraswating Vyasam Tato Jayamudirayat Nastaparesha Vadareshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavate Uttamahsloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistikihi Om Ajnanati Mirandasi Gyana Gyana Salakaya Chaksuramritanyana Tasmai Sri Guruve Namaha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristaya Bhutale Srimate Japataka Swami Iti Namine Nama Acharyapadaya Nitai Kripapadayane Gorakadadam Dai Nirgram Tani Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Sri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Welcome everyone to today's Srimad Bhagavatam class. Today we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 12, chapter number 6, chapter entitled Maharaja Parikshit Passes Away. So in this chapter we're going to hear three sections of story. First chapter is we're going to hear the passing of Maharaja Parikshit, what he said to his spiritual master and what did he do and what happened. Second part will be the son of Maharaja Parikshit, having heard that his father has left the world, became very angry and decided to kill all the snakes in this universe. And so therefore he requested the brahmanas to perform a fire sacrifice in which all the snakes will be killed. And the third is the explanation of how the Vedas were divided. So let's begin. Text number 1. Sukadeva Gosvami said, after hearing all that was narrated to him by the self-realized and eco-poised Sukadeva, the son of Vyasadeva, Maharaja Parikshit humbly approached his lotus feet. Bowing his head down upon the sage's feet, the king, who had lived his entire life under the protection of Lord Vishnu, folded his hands in supplication and spoke as follows. Text number 2. Maharaja Parikshit said, I have now achieved the purpose of my life, because a great and merciful soul like you have shown such kindness to me. You have personally spoken to me this narration of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Hari, who is without beginning or end. Text number 3. I do not consider it at all amazing that great souls such as yourself, whose minds are always absorbed in the infallible Personality of Godhead, shows mercy to the foolish conditioned soul, tormented as we are by the problems of material life. Text number 4. I have heard from you this Srimad Bhagavatam, which is the perfect summary of all the Puranas and which perfectly describe the Supreme Lord Uttamahsloka. Text number 5. My Lord, I have no fear of Takshaka or any other living being, or even of repeated death, because I have absorbed myself in that purely spiritual absolute truth, which you have revealed and which destroys all fear. Text number 6. O Brahmana, please give me permission to resign my speech and the functions of all my senses onto Lord Adoksaja. Allow me to absorb my mind, purified of lusty desires within him, and to thus give up my life. Text number 7. You have revealed to me that which is most auspicious, the supreme personal feature of the Lord. I am now fixed in knowledge of self-realization, and my ignorance has been eradicated. Text number 8. Sukadeva Gosvami said, thus requested, the saintly son of Srila Vyasadeva gave his permission to King Parikshit. Then, after being worshipped by the king and all the sages present, Sukadeva Goswami departed from that place. Text number 9 and 10. Maharaj Parikshit sat down on the bank of the Ganges upon a seat made of dharba grass with the tips of its stalks facing east, and turning himself towards the north. Having attained the perfection of yoga, he experienced full self-realization and was free of material attachments and doubt. The saintly king settled his mind within his spiritual self by pure intelligence and proceeded to meditate upon the supreme absolute truth. His life air ceased to move, and he became as stationary as a tree. Text number 11. O learned Brahmana, the snake bird Takshaka, who has been sent by the angry son of a Brahmana, was going towards the king to kill him when he saw Kasyapa Muni on the path. Text number 12. Takshaka flattered Kasyapa by presenting him with valuable offerings, and thereby stopped the sage, who was expert in counteracting poisons, from protecting Maharaja Parikshit. Then the snake bird, who could assume any form he wishes, disguised himself as a Brahmana, approached the king and bit him. Text number 13. While living beings all over the universe look on, the body of the great self-realized saint among kings was immediately burnt to ashes by the fire of the snake's poison. Text number 14. There arose a terrible cry of lamentation in all directions, on the earth and in the heavens, and all the demigods, demons, human beings, and other creatures were astounded. Text number 15. Kettle drums sounded in the region of the demigods, and the celestial Gandharvas and Apsaras sang. The demigods showered flowers and spoke words of praise. Text number 16. Hearing that his father has been fatally bitten by the snake bird, Maharaja Janamejaya became extremely angry and had Brahmanas perform a mighty sacrifice, in which he offered all the snakes in the world into the sacrificial fire. Text number 17. When Takshaka saw even the most powerful serpent being burned in the blazing fire of that snake sacrifice, he was overwhelmed with fear and approached Lord Indra for shelter. Text number 18. When King Janamejaya did not see Takshaka entering his sacrificial fire, he said to the Brahmana, "Why is not Takshaka, the lowest of all serpents, burning in this fire?" Text 19. The Brahmana replied, "O best of kings, the snake Takshaka has not fallen into the fire because he is being protected by Indra, whom he has approached for shelter. Indra is holding him back from the fire." Text number 20. The intelligent King Janamejaya, hearing these words, replied to the priest, "Then, my dear Brahmana, why not make Takshaka fall into the fire along with his protector Indra?" Text number 21. Hearing this, the priest then chanted this mantra for offering Takshaka together with Indra as an oblation into the sacrificial fire. O Takshaka fell immediately into this fire together with Indra and his entire host of demigods. Text number 22. When Lord Indra, along with his airplane and Takshaka, was suddenly thrown from his position by these insulting words of the Brahmana, he became very disturbed. Text number 23. Brihaspati, the son of Angira Muni, seeing Indra falling from the sky in his airplane along with Takshaka, approached King Janamejaya and spoke to him as follows. Text number 24. O king among men, it is not fitting that this king of snakes meets death at your hands, for he has drunk the nectar of the immortal demigods. Consequently, he is not subject to the ordinary symptoms of old age and death. Text number 25. The life and death of an embodied soul and his destination in the next life are all caused by himself through his own activity. Therefore, O king, no other agent is actually responsible for creating one's happiness and distress. Text number 26. When a conditioned soul is killed by snakes, thieves, fire, lightning, hunger, disease, or anything else, he is experiencing the reaction of his own past work. Text number 27. Therefore, my dear king, please stop this sacrificial performance, which was initiated with the intent of doing harm to others. Many innocent snakes have already been burned to death. Indeed, all persons must suffer the unforeseen consequences of their past activity. Text number 28. Sutta Goswami said, Advised in this manner, Maharaja Janamejaya replied, "So be it." Honoring the words of the great sage, he desisted from performing the snake sacrifice and worshipped Brihaspati, the most eloquent of sages. Text number 29. This is indeed the Supreme Lord Vishnu's illusory energy, which is unstoppable and difficult to perceive. Although the individual spirit soul was part and parcel of the Lord, through the influence of this illusory energy, they are bewildered by their identification with various material bodies. Text number 30 to 31. But there exists a supreme reality in which the illusory energy cannot fearlessly dominate, thinking, "I can control this person because he is deceitful." In that highest reality, there is no illusory argumentative philosophies. Rather, there is true students of spiritual science constantly engaged in authorized spiritual investigation. In that supreme reality, there is no manifestation of the material mind, which functions in terms of alternating decisions and doubt. Created material products, their subtle cause and the goal of enjoyment attained by their utilization do not exist there. Furthermore, in that supreme reality, there is no conditioned spirit covered by false ego and the three modes of nature. That reality excludes everything limited or limiting. One who is wise should therefore stop the waves of material life and enjoy within the supreme truth. Text number 32. Those who desire to give up that is not essential, real moves systematically by negative discrimination of the extraneous to the supreme position of Lord Vishnu, giving up petty materialism. They offer their love exclusively to the absolute truth within their hearts and embrace that highest truth in fixed meditation. Text number 33. Such devotees come to understand the supreme transcendental situation of the personality of Godhead, Lord Vishnu, because they are no longer polluted by the concept of I and my, which are based on body and home. Text number 34. One should tolerate all insults and never fail to show proper respects to any person. Avoiding identification with the material body, one should not create enmity with anyone. Text number 35. I offer my obeisances to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the invincible Lord Sri Krishna. Simply by meditating upon his lotus feet, I have been able to study and appreciate this great literature. Text number 36. Saunaka Rishi said, "O gentle Sutta, please narrate to us how Paila and other greatly intelligent disciples of Srila Vyasadeva, who are known as the standard authorities of Vedic wisdom, spoke and edited the Vedas." Text number 37. Sukadeva Gosvami said, "O brahmana, first the subtle vibration of transcendental sound appeared from the sky of the heart of the most elevated Lord Brahma, whose mind was perfectly fixed in spiritual realization. One can perceive this subtle vibration when one stops all external hearing." Text number 38. By worshipping this subtle form of Vedas, O Brahmana, mystic sages cleanse their heart of all contamination caused by the impurities of substance, activity, and doer, and thus they attain freedom from repeated birth and death. Text number 39. From that transcendental subtle vibration arose the Omkara, composed of three sounds. The Omkara has unseen potencies and manifests automatically within a purified heart. It is the representation of the absolute truth in all three of his phases: the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Supersoul, and the Supreme Impersonal Truth. Text number 40 to 41. This Omkara, ultimately non-material and imperceptible, is heard by the Supreme Soul without his possessing material ears or any other material senses. The entire expanse of Vedic sound is elaborated from Omkara, which appears from the soul within the sky of the heart. It is the direct designation of the self-originating absolute truth, the Supersoul, and is the secret essence and external seed of all Vedic hymns. Text number 42. Omkara exhibits the three original sounds of the alphabet, A, U, and M. These three, O most eminent descendant of Bhrigu, sustains all the different threefold aspects of material existence, including the three modes of nature. The names of Rik, Yajur, and Sama, the goal known as Bur, Bhuvar, and Swar planetary system, and the three-function platform called waking consciousness, sleep, and deep sleep. Text number 43. From that Omkara, Lord Brahma created all the sounds of the alphabet, the vowels, the consonants, semi-vowels, sibilants, and others, distinguished by such features as long and short measures. Text number 44. All-powerful Brahma made use of this collection of sounds to produce from his four faces the four Vedas, which appears together with the sacred Omkara and the seven Vitrihi invocation. His intention was to propagate the process of Vedic sacrifice according to different functions performed by the priests of each of the four Vedas. Text number 45. Brahma taught these three Vedas to his sons, who were great sages among the Brahmanas and expert in the art of Vedic recitation. They in turn took the role of acharyas and imparted the Vedas to their own sons. Text number 46. In this way, throughout the cycle of 4 ages, generation after generation of disciples, all firmly fixed in their spiritual vows, have received these Vedas by disciplinic succession. At the end of each Dwapara Yoga, the Vedas are edited into separate divisions by eminent sages. Text number 47. Observing that people in general were diminishing in their lifespan, strength, and intelligence by the influence of time, great sages took inspiration from the personality of Godhead, sitting within their heart, and systematically divided the Vedas. Text 48 to 49. O Brahmana, in the present age of Vaivasvata Manu, the leaders of the universe led by Brahma and Shiva requested the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the protector of all the worlds, to save the principles of religion. O most fortunate Saunaka, the Almighty Lord, exhibiting a divine spark of a portion of his planetary portion, then appeared in the womb of Satyavati as the son of Parasara. In this form, named Krishna Dvaipanaya Vyas, he divided the one Vedas into 4. Text number 50. Srila Vyasadeva separated the mantras of the Rig, Atharva, Yajur, and Sama Vedas into 4 divisions, just as one sorts out a mixed collection of jewels into piles. Thus he composed 4 distinct Vedic literatures. Text number 51. The most powerful and intelligent Vyasadeva called 4 of his disciples, O Brahmana, and entrusted to each of them one of these 4 Samhitas. Text number 52 to 53. Srila Vyasadeva taught the first Samhita, the Rig Veda, to Paila, and gave this collection the name Bharvacha. To the sage Vaisampayana, he spoke the collection of Yajur mantra named Nigada. He taught the Sama Veda mantras designated as the Chandoga Samhita to Jaimini, and he spoke the Atharva Vedas to his dear disciple Sumantu. Text number 54 and 256. After dividing his Samhitas into 2 parts, the wise Paila spoke it to Indra Pramiti, and Bashkala. Bashkala further divided his collection into 4 parts, O Bhagava, the instruction, and instructed them to his disciple Bodhaya, Yajnavalkya, Parasara, and Agnimitra. Indra Pramiti, the self-controlled sage, taught his Samhita to the learned mystic Mundikaya, whose disciple Devamitra later passed down the division of the Rig Veda to Saubhari and others. Text number 57. The son of Mandukya, named Sakalaya, divided his own collection into 5, entrusting one subdivision each to Vatsya, Mudgala, Saliya, Gohalya, and Sisira. Text number 58. The sage Jatukarnya was also a disciple of Sakalaya, and after dividing the Samhita he received from Sakalya into 3 parts, he added a 4th section, a Vedic glossary. He taught one of these parts to each of his 4 disciples, Balaka, the second Paila, and Jambala and Viraja. Text number 59. Baskali assembled the Valakiya Samhita, a collection from all the branches of the Rig Veda. This collection was received by Valayani, Bajaya, and Kasara. Text number 60. Thus, these various Samhitas of the Rig Vedas were maintained through disciplinic succession by their saintly brahmanas. Simply by hearing this description of the Vedic hymns, one will be freed from all sins. Text number 61. The disciples of Vaisampanaya became authorized in the Atharva Vedas. They were known as Charakas because they execute strict vows to free their guru from his sin of killing a brahmana. Text number 62. Once Yajnavalkya, one of the disciples of Vaisampanaya, said, O Master, how much benefit will it be derived from the feeble endeavor of these weak disciples of yours? I will personally perform such outstanding penance. Text number 63. Addressed thus, the spiritual master Vaisampanaya became angry and said, Go away from here. Enough of you, O disciple who insults brahmanas. Furthermore, you must immediately give back everything I have taught you. Text number 64 to 65. Yajnavalkya, the son of Devarata, then vomited the mantras of Yajur Vedas and went away from there. The assembled disciples, looking greedily upon these Yajur hymns, assumed the form of partridges and picked them all up. This division of the Yajur Vedas therefore became known as the most beautiful Taittiriya Samhita, the hymns collected by partridges, Taittiriya. Text number 66. My dear Brahmana Saunaka, Yajnavalkya then desired to find out new Yajur mantras unknown to even his spiritual master. With this in mind, he offered attentive worship to the powerful Lord of the Sun. Text number 67. Sri Yajnavalkya said, I offer my respectful obeisances to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, appearing as the sun. You are present as the controller of the 4 kinds of living entities, beginning from Brahma and extends down to the blade of grass. Just as the sky is present both inside and outside every living being, you exist both within the heart of all as the Supreme Soul and externally in the form of time. Just as the sky cannot be covered by the cloud present within it, you are never covered by any false material designation. By the flow of years, which are made up of tiny fragments of time called sana, lavas, and nimisas, you alone maintain this world, drying up the water and giving them back as rain. Text number 68. O glowing one, O powerful Lord of the Sun, you are the chief of all demigods. I meditate with careful attention on the fiery globe. Because of these, because of those who offer prayers to you 3 times daily according to the Vedic method passed down through authorized disciplinic succession, you burn away all sinful activities, all consequent suffering, and even the original seed of desire. Text number 69. You are personally present as the indwelling Lord in the heart of all moving and non-moving beings who depend completely on your shelter. Indeed, you animate their material minds, senses, and vital air to act. Text number 70. The world has been seized and swallowed by the python of darkness in its horrible mouth and has become unconscious as if dead. By mercifully glancing upon the sleeping people of the world, you raises them up with the gift of sight. Thus you are most magnanimous. At the 3 sacred junctures of each day, you engage the pious in the path of ultimate goodness, inducing them to perform religious duties that situate them in their spiritual position. Text number 71. Just like an earthly king, you travel about everywhere, spreading fear among the unholy, as the powerful deity of directions offers you in their folded palms lotus flowers and other respectful presentation. Text number 72. Therefore, my Lord, I am prayerfully approaching your lotus feet, which are honored by the spiritual master of the 3 worlds, because I hope to receive from you mantras of Yajur Veda unknown to anyone else. Text number 73. Sukadeva Gosvami said, satisfied by such glorification, the powerful sun god assumed the form of a horse and presented to the sage Yajnavalkya Yajur mantra previously unknown in human society. Text number 74. From these countless hundreds of mantras of the Yajur Veda, the powerful sage compiled 15 new branches of Vedic literatures. These became known as Vajasaniyi Samhita because they were produced from the hairs of the horse's mane, and they are accepted in disciplinic succession by the followers of Kanva, Madhyanidina, and other rishis. Text number 75. Jaimini Rishi, the authority of the Samaveda, had a son named Sumantu, and the son of Sumantu was Stutvan. The sage Jaimini spoke to each of them a different part of the Samaveda Samhita. Text number 76 to 77. Sukarma, another disciple of Jaimini, was a great scholar. He divided the mighty 3 of the Samavedas into 1,000 Samhitas. Then, O Brahmana, these disciples of Sukarma, Hiranyanabha, the son of Kusala, Pasyujanji, and Avantya, who was very advanced in spiritual realization, took charge of the Sama mantras. Text number 78. The 500 disciples of Pausyanji and Avantya became known as the northern singers of Samavedas, and in later times some of them also became known as eastern singers. Text number 79. 5 other disciples of Payusyanji named Langaksi, Mangali, Kulya, Kusida, and Kuksi each receives 100 Samhitas. Text number 80. Karta, the disciple of Hiranyanabha, spoke the 24 Samhitas to his own disciples, and the remaining collections were passed down by the sage Avantya. So this brings us to the end of chapter 6 of Srimad Bhagavatam. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.